How goes the family? Hopefully everybody's having a great and exceptional Saturday morning. Up and early, and I always love to get up early because I feel like I get way more accomplished. So let the day begin. Hopefully we don't commit too many sins. All right, as they say in Texas, everything's chicken but the bone because my black butt is at home. Hopefully everybody's having a great day. All right, so as yesterday I went live on Instagram and I talked about 50 Cent. Really went in on his book. I've been enjoying this book a lot lately, but really went in on his book in regards to his previous relationship that he had with a woman named Chelsea. Matter of fact, let me grab that book so I can get the name correct. I was live on the other social media platform, but because I was driving, that was considered to be hazardous situation. I'm like, all the crap I see on TikTok, this is considered to be bad behavior because I was driving. I wasn't even looking at I had my phone on the phone holder and I was looking at the road as I was talking. So, the spirit hit me as I was driving. So I was like, yeah, let me have a conversation about this. But anyways, let me talk about this and go live about this, especially since I can cash flow on TikTok now. All right, what's her name? Chelsea Handler. I'm gonna look this woman up. I don't even know what she looks like. All right, I'm on my computer now. So. All right, there we go. All right, actress and comedian. Okay, definitely now I see why they were considered to be the odd bunch and whatnot, odd couple and whatnot. All right, Chelsea Handler and 50 Cent. But anyways, so 50 Cent at the end of the day was talking about how, as I mentioned in my previous video, he was talking about at the end of the day how they might have been considered to be the odd pair and whatnot, but they mimicked each other in regards to neither one of them needed each other financially. All right, and that was the main thing he harped on. And the fact he was able to feed off of a lot, 50 Cent, known as Curtis Jackson, his real name, was able to feed off of her energy, and she was able to feed off of his energy, and they were both hustlers at the end of the day. They had multiple projects going on at the end of the day. So he was more attracted to her on that aspect, not just from the looks department. He was more attracted to her because of what she had going on in her mind, not her body. Okay? And I even bring up a picture of these two now. And it's like, yeah, definitely the odd couple and whatnot, but they were able to vibe off of each other in that aspect. I can put this book away now. This is the book, by the way. Definitely, I would get this book, 50 Cent's Life. This is some good stuff. Great information in this book. But anyways, so yeah, at the end of the day, 50 Cent was talking about how, because, let's just be real. I mean, he's always been a guy that's been able to get a bunch of females. And usually a guy that can get a bunch of females, whether it's relationships, marriage, or sex, or whatever the case may be, he's not really chipping off of females. And most men shouldn't anyways, and most women shouldn't, Especially when I'm saying you shouldn't be chipping off of anybody if your life is not together. Most people can't wait to get into a relationship and a marriage and whatnot when their life is in a freaking total chaos and a disarray and whatnot. Instead of getting together when they have connecting with people, forming unions with people when their stuff is together, financially, mentally, spiritually, health-wise, whatever the case may be. Because too many people in today's world, men and women think that they are deserving because of their looks, that they should be able to be a lackey on somebody else. They should be a leech on somebody else's success and whatnot. And unfortunately, too many people have gotten away with that. Specifically, in certain cases, women have. But at the end of the day, what I was saying earlier on TikTok is that a union, because like I said, marriages in America is a deal with the state. It's a business, and either the business is going to thrive or the business is going to dissolve. Everybody knows that. Same thing with friendships and relationships. Everything in America, the capitalistic country, which is nothing wrong with that. This country being a capitalistic country, it's a business decision. But most people make bad business decisions because they don't even realize they're making a business decision. Most people don't even want to even realize that, in a sense, everybody's an entrepreneur because you are the CEO of your own life. So are you making calculated business decisions or are you making reckless business decisions? Unfortunately, a lot of people love to make reckless business decisions, and therefore they end up having a harder life, or life is just terrible and whatnot because of the bad, reckless business decisions that they've made in their life. when it comes to relationships, when it comes to friendships, when it comes to substance abuse, whatever the case may be, habits, good or bad. Sometimes people just make bad decisions, and I'm not going to act like I'm 100% pure, because I'm not, but the reckless decisions I've made in my life have never been reckless in regards to having children with the wrong people, being in a relationship with the wrong people, and because I've never had children, don't have children, and didn't make bad decisions to have children with the wrong person, thank God, number one. Number two, when it comes to friendships, it's easy to cut people off like that, especially in the social media world. Makes life that much easier. So job decisions, business decisions, made some good ones, made some bad ones, and you learn from life. So eventually a bad decision is going to be made in your life. Nobody's life is perfect, but you have to be able to learn. But back to the story at hand. When 50 Cent was talking about he was more attracted to Chelsea Handler because of her ambition and her hustle, not her body. And I think that as a person gets older, men and women, you should be more attracted to a person's ambition and hustle, not just their looks. We live in the age of social media. Anybody can look good online, and somebody can get flown out, or you can get flown in, whatever the case may be. That's the easy part. But if you're a person who has ambition and drive, or you're a person that are trying to go all out of your way to be with somebody that is that matches that same energy. Because unfortunately, a lot of people think that you should play Captain Saver, meaning that whether it's a woman, she thinks she should build this broken down man up, or a man thinks he should build this broken down woman up. And my mindset is there's nothing wrong with doing that, but are you willing to make that sacrifice, because that's going to hinder you and your success? Unless you're like a Jeff Bezos and whatnot, or Elon Musk, where you already have your millions and billions of dollars, different story. But if you're a regular working person, entrepreneur out here trying to hustle and get it in out here, you don't have time to be around any lackeys. You don't have any time to be around any leeches. You don't have any time to be around people that are not trying to make moves with you. They just want to be there for the ride and thrive off of your success when you're putting on the work, and they at home doing Netflix and chill, picking their nose and trying to look cute on social media. And that's for the men and the women. I'm not just picking on any specific gender. That's my mindset. Sexiest thing on the female is hustle and ambition. The looks come afterwards. That's grown man talk, in my personal opinion. And that's what 50 Cent was getting, going in on, in regards to his relationship with Chelsea Handler, in regards to the energy. It wasn't the looks, the energy matched. When the energy matches, it's a whole different thing. Because everybody, I could be attracted to anybody, and that person would be a psychopathic killer. Let's just keep it real. Looks are, Judge Judy said it best: beauty fades, dumb is forever. It is what it is. And then before I end this video off, because I got stuff to do, but I really wanted to hit the nail on the head on that one, because I don't feel like I really went deep enough in regards to him talking about, because I read verbatim from 50 Cent's book in regards to how he was the best relationship he ever had was with a woman who was not outside of his league, but a woman who wanted to be with Curtis Jackson and not with 50 Cent. Meaning that she didn't need anything from 50 Cent / Curtis Jackson. She was entwined with Curtis Jackson's energy, because she brought the same amount of money, success, and fame to the table. So therefore, he didn't need to worry. He wasn't worried about somebody being with him because he's famous. She was with him because of the energy that he brought to the table. And he was with her because of the energy that she brought to the table. Because looking at her, I'm like, definitely not my type. But the energy, as far as the looks department, not my type, but the energy that she projects, wow, sexy as hell. Hustler, go get her, getting it in. Not playing struggle-nomics, okay? But in a sense playing, shout out to Dr. Claude Anderson, power-nomics. There's a difference between being with somebody who wants to play power-nomics and struggle-nomics. Struggle-nomics is, well, ain't nothing ever going to get better, so let me waste my time on social media instead of getting my hustle on and get out here and make some moves out in this life, whether it's with school, a job, entrepreneurship, whatever the case may be. No, I'm just going to try to look cute on social media and hope that Mr. Right comes by. No. But if you out there, like, the sexiest thing on a woman is the mindset, the looks comes later. So I get turned on by when a woman's talking about business and investments, talking about access to capital. That's some sexy stuff right there. That's why shout out to Atlanta, shout out to EYL University. I will be going to InvestFest in Atlanta next month, 3-day event. If you don't know what it is, look it up. It's a great event, one of the biggest Black investment / business events to happen throughout the year, where you have certain celebrities come and millionaires and billionaires come down talking about the economy, the best investments to make, the best businesses to start, different tax strategies while owning a business, different ways to get access to capital and things of that nature. That's what's up. That's the kind of energy. Like me going to this is like me going to the Super Bowl. You know, that I'm on team economics. I don't care about football. I'm on team economics. So I'll leave it at that. But anyways, moral of the story is that's how a person evolves. Evolution. You evolve, you disappear. Same thing with like a video I just saw this morning when I forgot about this part when Kevin Hart was talking about, and I shared it on my social media platform. So look up Larry's Anything Goes LLC. When Kevin Hart was talking about, you know, sometimes you just outgrow people. He's just like, and then a person was going to say, you know, forget you, you're acting brand new because you don't want to do the same things you were doing 10 years ago. And it's like, no, it's just called growth. I'm not on that vibe and that kick anymore, you know, and we don't mesh anymore. We don't need to try to force this friendship or force this relationship because sometimes people just grow. Outgrow each other. You know, you going in this direction, I'm going in this direction. Plenty of people I grew up with that I thought we was going to be best friends to the end, but only time I know about anything that's happened to them is by seeing it on the social media timeline. There's no connection, there's no phone calls, there's no texting, we never hang out. And it is what it is, you know, because some people, like a lot of people I had to leave behind, they wanted to be basic and boring. That I'm good with that. I had enough time doing that when I was working 2 to 3 jobs and didn't have time, you know, now that I have more free time, I want to be exceptional. I want to be above average. I want to be see the world. I want to do things. There's more going on in this world than just being on the social media app. I might be on the social media app now, but I still want. Nothing still beats being able to go face to face and see the pyramids, see the London Bridge. Shout out to London. I'll be in London in October. You know, for the first time. You know, going to Africa. Going to the Caribbean, going to other parts of the world and things of that nature. You know, so and I ended off on this. Remember, at the end of the day, I respect people's marriage. I respect people's relationship. I respect people's faith, religion, whatever the case may be. But remember, at the end of the day, when it comes to America, marriage is a business. You get a certificate. Without that certificate, the government doesn't recognize it. It is what it is. I'm not saying it's good or wrong. I'm saying that's what it is. And people say, how do you say it's a business? I said, well, a business forms together. They can buy assets together and they can thrive together. But once that business dissolves, i.e. divorce, the state helps out with the dissolution of the marriage, or hopefully the people within the marriage or the /business come to an amicable agreement in regards to splitting whatever assets and could be adults about it. But if not, they get the courts involved, and Lord knows how that goes. And then, of course, if you have children, God bless the kids, then you have the thing called child support. But a lot of people do a good job of co-parenting. I don't get too in depth with that because I don't have kids, so I leave it at that. Anyways, the union of marriage before there was a certificate is on this note. All right, the husband had to go. The husband had to go out and hunt, and he was a hunter gatherer. Had to protect the family, and whatnot. The wife stayed back at the village, the house, whatever. Made sure everything was clean, kids were taken care of, food was on the table, things of that nature. Life has evolved from that. I'm just using that example because that was still a 50-50 partnership. People act like that it wasn't, but it was. It's not easy being a mother. It's not easy being a wife. It's not easy raising children, holding down the household, especially in those days when there was no, you know, government around. There was no running water, electricity, things of that nature. That was much more harder for people. But I will say at the end of the day, it was a union. People, here's the lane that he or she's in, and we go from there. And even sometimes the women, even back in those days, I don't think it gets talked about enough, they had to pick up the reins of the men if they got hurt or if they got killed. So shout out to the single mothers out there. Shout out to the people, the women that are getting it done. But I end on that note of, well, why should he lead you if you're just going to sit there and scratch yourself and not contribute anything? That's what I say. If all you bring to the table is being in the bedroom, then a guy might as well just go to Vegas and, you know, where prostitution is legal and get it cracking. I'll leave it at that. And the same thing for the guys. If only thing that you bring to her is being in the bedroom, I'm gonna be the most respectful way of saying it. Being in the bedroom, then she can go to Las Vegas and get it cracking. Be more of an asset than just looking good. That's how I look at it. So on that note, it's the first time doing a live on this like my Facebook, but on that note, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Larry's Anything Goes LLC. Once again, Larry's Anything Goes LLC and Patterson L Properties LLC. Subscribe. It's all free. If you want to, on Larry's Anything Goes LLC, you can become a member on YouTube, pay a monthly fee of up to $1.99 or $2.99. Thank you for the Cash Apps, PayPals, Venmos. Don't forget to check out my online store. We'll be working on that stuff later. As I always say, do the great thiefy things. Like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day. Make money moves so you can live like for the same Spanish. Bienvenido a la vida. Welcome to the life, or as I say in Spanish, tenga una buen día. Have a good day. I'm out.